Hey everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hey Mom and Terry on here.
Mine's not loading
How are
yet.
y'all?
So it just does
Do
that.
it every time.
I can't help it. I can't help it. That's crazy.
You have storms coming your way, Terry? We had a line come through last night.
This morning, I was milking.
It was early this morning, but it wasn't like bad weather. It was just thunderstorms, heavy rains, some thunder and lightning. But it wasn't like major winds or tornado warnings.
No,
like
major winds. You were sleeping through it. It just went tornadoes. The wind was nuts. Hey, Mount Homestead. We are doing well, Wes. Thank you. Yeah, I got soaking wet this morning. It's funny how the storms came through last week.
But they were like tornado
storms,
warning weather.
But they cut off like right at 4, so it allowed me to milk with just a little rain, a little drizzle. This morning I got drenched.
It was flooding, but it was not like tornado weather this morning. So we thought we had all the kids in their places where they were supposed to go, and as soon as we hit go live, they all decided to come out of where they were supposed to be. So Colby's trying to get them rounded back up into place. Hey, Stacy. Hey, you still have to come and get your prize. I have not forgot about that. So I will be awaiting next time you come to our area. You don't live that far away. You don't live that far away, but we can drop it in the mail. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're in our area, just shoot me a text. I think you have my number.
I had to get the kids taken care of.
Have you has our video come out? I cannot remember if the video's come out. I think not this past one, but the one before is on us putting the dirt and stuff in the new raised beds out there.
Yeah, we did that.
Is that right?
That was on the video.
So we're getting a lot of that stuff planted. Super excited about that.
Hey, Diana, Justice Sakers. I know we've seen each other several places today.
Yeah, she's been on all the lives tonight. So thank you. Thank you that you're here, not all lived out.
Hey, Sean in Alaska. Yeah, so we keep adding beds for some reason because we keep having food that we need to plant because our garden, our greenhouse.
Say it's not enough.
Yeah, up in Homestead.
I still say we will add beds and add areas to plant, and I feel like we never have enough room because I feel like we have so much stuff to plant.
Yeah, and so we still have about 10 rows in our main garden.
That's fine. Just let me know, Stacey.
We hadn't planted, but we're trying to hold those off. Hey, Vicky, we're trying to hold those off because our fall planting tends to run at the same time that our summer planting is coming out. So this year we're trying to make sure we have room for our peas and our fall items that we need to plant before the freeze comes back in. So we're trying not to get into those. So we keep adding more raised beds. We keep adding more. We added 2 more beds just last night at dusk.
Last night through the weekend.
Yeah, so we have added beds everywhere. Our yard, our kids, Harley came up to me the other day and said, "Dude, you're taking away all our play place. You're taking away our yard." So we're trying not to add to our big bed and add more rows because those rows will be simply for the things like peas. Like, for instance, we tried to grow peas last year, our fall peas, and we did grow some, but we could not get a whole harvest because it started getting
too cold.
Because we couldn't plant them July 15th when they need to be planted. We had to plant closer to August just because we were trying to let the first peas finish up. So I think this year we've kind of got a good plan, but
yeah, we need to. So. And I think the progressionary planting has been very successful too. As things grow, you plant more to come up behind them. I think that's worked out very well for us.
It has. We actually we've got some sweet potato slips that we have personally grew off, and then we bought some sweet potato slips locally. So we're hoping to get those. Yeah, we're hoping to get those planted. We were talking about goods and bads on this video. For us, we love potatoes. We love russet potatoes. Hey, Green Dream.
Homesteading, but engraving business and life.
For some reason, our potatoes, we've always done them. We're in a very wet area, and I know y'all seen videos of our storms and stuff, but russet potatoes and even the yellow and even the reds, which Irish reds, which is what's supposed to grow really good here, tends to just not grow as good here. So we
have big leafed
yeah, a lot of
foliage
good
on the
foliage,
top.
but because we get in the rainy season in April, it seems like we can never get our soil dry enough to really have a lot of potatoes grow. Last year we had about 40 pounds, but that's only about 100 and something 150 potatoes we had last year. That's not nearly enough for us. So that's what it seems like. We can't just really grow a lot of regular potatoes. So sweet potatoes do better here in our area. So I'm hoping to really see a good harvest of sweet potatoes, and that'll help cover what we did not get with our regular potatoes. Our kids love baked potatoes. Again, we're a family of 5 kids and 2 adults, so we eat a lot of potatoes. But it just seems like we just cannot get a lot harvested, and that we even put them in raised beds this year, higher raised beds, to keep the water level down. But I just don't know. I'm anxious to see how they're gonna come out. Some of them are looking good, but then some of them are not, and I don't know what the problem is. I really don't. So
we do really love potatoes, so we really try to be proactive and plant a lot, but I still don't think it's just not enough for us. We're just such a big family.
What's amazing is our peas, where most people can't grow. Where our kids, our peas and stuff like that grow great here. We do very good on peas, butter beans, all that good stuff. But for some reason, the 2 things we need to grow the most of, which is corn and potatoes. Our corn is like our potatoes. It does really good one year maybe, and then the next year it's like here and there. It's just sporadic. So
to me, I feel like when it gets to a certain height or like a certain stage is when it's either going to make it or break it. Like last year, I remember when it looked so good, and then it got to a certain height, and then it just went.
Like right now, it's looking great. I mean, it absolutely. Our corn's never looked this good this soon. But
so
then,
hopefully it'll stay.
yeah, but it's like one of those things that when I think about what I've invested into the fertilization, which we're organic farmers, so
it costs a lot.
It costs a lot to fertilize them. So, and y'all saw my corn video, and by then we'd already had 3 sets of different fertilizations on it. That can be a lot of money. So it's like, can we justify the corn, even though we love corn, our family loves corn, it has so many different ways to use it.
What you sow.
It's like, can we justify just the expense of the corn to grow versus
our
peas?
And
we don't have to do nothing.
I have a box, and I don't think we've shown y'all this on our on like the regular channel, but I have a box in my greenhouse that is our brooding box that we have when we hatch our chicks out. We keep them in the garage under heat lamps until they're fully feathered, and that's kind of been our routine. So this year, I decided after every batch to get all of those wood chips with all of the yummy chicken poop goodness and make a pile specifically for the chicken manure. So we have been adding that in too, which is free compost. Mama, you did not have to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so I'm hoping that with that just being free and we can just kind of dump that in there, that will help, of course, with just having free compost.
And so like Misty was talking about composting, our compost, we do really well when it comes to our raised beds, but our garden is so big we can't. So not this video tomorrow, but the video for Friday or Saturday when it comes out, you'll see we've taken all the old hay that our cows have just laid their yummy goodness in, and also just the wetness in the old hay that's not going to go seed anymore. We've just let it ferment and age, and it's become a great compost source. So you'll see it. The pile is literally
huge.
It's probably 12 foot wide, 12 foot tall.
That's something that we really just started wanting to focus on is really because in the past, I would say that we would just take our scraps, go chunk them, let them sit there, and it would take several months to be usable. But I think we're really trying to focus on breaking that down quicker, utilizing more manure, what we have here. So I'm excited about that. And Mom said earlier, I saw where she commented and said her tomatoes were doing really well. So speaking of fertilizer, one of the things I suggested that she use is fish emulsion. So y'all have seen us and y'all heard us talk about fish emulsion a whole lot. It stinks really bad, but we have seen my herbs have exploded. The strawberries have exploded. Now we've decided to sacrifice our strawberries and our runners for a year in hopes that the roots will the plant will put all of its energy into the roots, and
It's just like
next
any
year's crop will be better because the plant is going to put its energy into growing and getting bigger and more strong instead of staying small and not really growing a lot and giving us a few strawberries and giving us a bunch of runners. I am sacrificing all those, but the fish emulsion has just, I have noticed it goes a long way, but it is really, really good for our stuff here.
Strawberries being like asparagus for us, so we're going to try to sacrifice first year, harvest a little the second year, and really have a great third year, we're hoping. So that works a lot with, of course, our fruit. So our goal is to hopefully have better strawberries and asparagus for next year.
Yep. And
I
think we mentioned last week we already took a harvest from our asparagus. I'm not crazy about them.
I like it.
I'm talking about like store-bought asparagus,
but
they were so good. They were the best asparagus I've ever ate in my life.
And if you're growing asparagus, I mean, it's a long process. It's not like you're putting it in there in 100 days. You got harvest.
Well, I would suggest if you can find asparagus starts to get those, because I started from seed. And when we planted them, I kind of laughed and chuckled, and I was like, "These will never make it 3 years." And y'all, they're going on their third year, so they're very easy. They have been abandoned many times, so once you get them established, the first probably 6 months to a year, they're very, very hardy. And they are something that will give you food for years and years to come.
So how many tomato plants do you have planted already? Everybody answer. How many tomato plants do you have planted? Let's see if y'all have us beat.
Mom bought, I think 4, 5, or 6 from us. Was it 4? Did you get 4 from us? So I know she has 4.
Yeah, I mean, Stacy, the fish emulsion is excellent. Anytime you put urea or nitrogen or ammonia or fish emulsion, anything that's a nitrogen booster, your greens are going to look amazing.
750.
Holy moly, Craig! Yeah, of course, Craig.
Craig's got he should have everybody beat. Craig is one of our friends that he's a farmer as well in our area, and very very active in our farmers market here. I was trying to read everybody's numbers. Very, very active in our farmers market here. So we've enjoyed getting to know him through the farmers market.
We've got, so far, I added up, we have about 320
tomatoes too early in New York. Oh yeah.
We've got about 320. We have 172 tray left. And a little bit more.
We have way too many.
We probably have about 140 left. I hope we can plant that. You'll see in this next video, we have literally planted everywhere we could think of, and we still have more tomatoes planted.
So I think what I'm going to do with my starts this next week, because
hey, Gene, straight away.
You guys know that we homeschool and we are wrapping up.
Oh gosh, Wes, I'm sorry, man.
We finished last week, but we have to finish up a few spelling tests because we got a little behind on spelling. And I'm kind of a stickler for just making all the, like, I'm not going to say, oh, we'll just forget about it. Like, I make my kids do all of their work. So we got behind in spelling, so they got to finish. So once I kind of get all those loose ends tied up with school, that's going to free up so much more of my time. And I can go out there and count like exactly what we have planted, exactly how much more I want to plant, exactly how many I'm going to have left over. And I think we will probably sell some of our starts for a very reasonable price for maybe somebody that's last minute deciding to plant some tomatoes. Yeah. And I also have several herbs that, like cilantro, I planted those from seeds, and I probably have
oh my god
40 4-inch containers out there, and the roots are just coming out of the bottom. And I told Colby, I was like, if I don't get these replanted, I've got to get these repotted. So some of the things like that, I need to downsize for my sake, but making them reasonable for people in our community that want to do those things. So that's what we'll do with those.
So what has been your best, for everybody that's on here, what has been your best so far grower in your garden, and what has been your worst so far grower in your garden?
Things that you can grow the best and things
I'm going to tell you our worst. Hold
on, I wanted to comment to Wes from New York real quick. So he said he planted his a little too early.
Yeah, I think that.
We planted a row a little too early. They're still okay. They got frost nipped just a little bit.
Grass.
We mentioned that last week. But they're looking better and better every week.
Our worst is something that we eat a ton of, and we've never been a good grower of it. I just don't think they grow good in this area. Well, they grow great in this area, the soybean, but in our farm, we cannot get edamame to grow. Good soybeans for edamame. We love it here. We actually put 2 rows in their garden, or 3 rows devoted to it in our garden, a whole raised bed devoted to it, and I think we have like 25% that's actually coming up.
Did you see the ones in the greenhouse, the tray that we planted? Okay, so
they're not doing as good as the other stuff.
But you know what's so crazy is we planted one side with one seed, and then we planted one side with the other brand seed.
Which one was the better one?
The packet is the one that is germinated. I only had like 8 seeds in there, and they pretty much all germinated. But the seed that we got did not do anything, and we bought a huge bag of it, so we've used it for years. I think it's the seed.
Well, we didn't use the Soy America ones. We used the Baker Creek, which was the good ones, what you're talking about.
They're the ones that germinated.
And the other one that we ordered, the
Asian huge bag.
So we didn't use any of the huge bag.
No, the ones in the raised bed, that was a big bag.
Yeah, but I got a bigger bag than that.
Okay, but that medium-sized bag.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the seed, because we did have some germinate, not what we were looking for. But, you know, when I went out there, I noticed, because I went out there yesterday afternoon to check the greenhouse, and I noticed that some had germinated and some did not. So I feel like it was probably the seed.
All right, so let's see. Highland Homestead said grass is growing the best. I agree there. That is very much true. Pretty much so. Peppers did best. Squash did not do as good last year. Our squash struggled a little last year. Our zucchini did good.
I was just going to say, but then the year before that, our squash did amazing, and our zucchini did terrible. So it's kind of like they flip-flopped.
Peppers, Homestead, Engraving, Business, and Life. Peppers are doing the best. Our peppers are doing really good. You know, peppers are slow growth for us, but they're doing well too. Copper Kettle, Hill, last summer, still growing. Yeah, see, all of our winter is still growing as well. Okra did well there too. Yeah, our okra did great 2 years ago. Actually, we're still eating okra from 2 years ago because last year's okra did not do well for us.
Pan-seared, it's our fried. I saw them tonight.
Herbs and potatoes the best on Highland Homestead, and worst on peppers. So I wish our potatoes would be better.
Best on tomatoes, worst on rattlesnake beans. Didn't we try some of those last year?
No, we did not try rattlesnake. We tried
some kind of other.
Yeah, speckled brown.
Are you sure it was not the?
It wasn't rattlesnake. Rattlesnake's a longer bean. Adler Farms said pumpkins from Halstead are out of control. Carrots are taking forever. Carrots always take forever. We still have carrots planted from
September.
Yeah, September, October.
August.
Yeah,
August.
And they still are not ready.
They look great, and we pull them up and eat them from time to time. But I can't just go out there and pull them all up because they're not ready yet.
Hey, little feet. Wes says potatoes and peas are doing really good for us. Corn does good too. Our corn, I don't want to talk about it. It's doing great so far. I don't want to get my hopes up though. Let's see. Try to read everybody's stuff. Peppers did the best for Larry. Worst is kohlrabi. Our kohlrabi did not grow good this year. Spinach was the bomb though. Peppers and tomatoes were great. Squash and corn not so good for me.
Yeah,
we must be getting bad seed around this area.
Yeah, you're in our area too. So
let's see. Yeah, we can't grow Brussels sprouts either because of our temperatures. It just won't allow us to.
Nope.
Let me go back. You probably could, but it's almost a waste of time for us. Almost like cabbage. We grew cabbage this last year.
We actually planted some Brussels sprout seeds, but they didn't germinate
because we just don't have the temperatures for it. Which I'm the only one that eats Brussels sprouts around here.
I saw your picture.
Speckled butter beans. That's what we grew.
And I saw your picture of your garlic. It was really pretty.
Yeah, we actually have garlic and onions still booming right now, but they're not ready to harvest quite yet.
Speckled butter beans are
that's
the best.
That's what we grew last year too.
They are the best.
See you later, Copperhead. So we're all over the board here.
Yeah.
On everything. So
but it's amazing because people are from such different
areas.
I mean, all the way up from Canada and all the way down.
Really, the only thing I'd say that just has bombed for us has been the soybeans.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
No, let me get at. Last year, did we try soybeans last year? I cannot remember.
We tried like We had one little pack that we were finishing up from the year before.
Were those the ones we put in the pots?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And
See,
they
but that
grew, but
year
they
they
just wasn't a
grew.
lot.
It wasn't enough. But I
See,
think
what you say?
the seeds this year for us, it's the seeds. I feel like it's the seeds.
Well, we got one more brand that we may try, the Soy America. Soybeans in our area, soybeans
and it's like
do
a bag
well.
like this big. It's
Yeah.
like an 8-pound bag, isn't it?
At Hey Serenity Hill, yes,
huge.
it is huge. We've not tried it yet. Soy grows good in our area because a lot of people grow corn and soy, just like most of
Right.
America.
That's true.
But for some reason, we just can't get it to really do really well.
I'm hoping that.
Good job, Larry. Garlic has done well for us. We didn't plant a lot of cloves, but the cloves we have planted, they're 100% germinating.
Beautiful. And we have a
Absolutely.
lot of onions out there, and I'm like, I cannot wait for. And
Oh,
we have
gosh,
transitional onions
yeah.
too. So we have some that'll be ready to pick and eat.
Hey, Tina Scott,
Some that will go
thank you
back
so much.
that will be like a medium sized, and then we will put those back to replant next year so that they can grow. And then we have tiny bulbs that
Yeah.
will go for the medium size.
right.
Too. So it's like a transition on your onions.
Tina Scott,
And
are
we're
you from?
trying to get every stage.
Tina
so.
Scott, are you from West Tennessee or God's country in East Tennessee? We're
Speaking
Tennessee
of
folks, so
Tennessee, I'm representing
we have a place
Pigeon
in East
Forge
Tennessee.
up there.
Steph T5, what's up? How are you? What were we talking about? I'm sorry, I was talking about East Tennessee and I got messed up.
I don't know.
Oh, our onions, yeah. So yeah, onions are booming right now. We have some almost ready. They're almost ready to harvest, and then we have some that's going to be ready in about a month, and then there's some that's going to be ready in next year. Because the onions, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So hey, Heather, what's up?
Hey, we were just talking about
East
the
Tennessee.
great state of Tennessee.
Definitely. So so Tina's from West Tennessee. Okay, you're still cool, but East Tennessee is better. I'm glad you made it, Steph T5.
Yes, if we could relocate, that's where we would be relocating to.
Definitely. I hope nothing happens to this homestead by no means. But if this homestead was not here, it would be Tennessee, East Tennessee. So
catfish capital of the world.
Catfish capital of the world. We have a lot of catfish capitals. I mean, catfish farms up here in North Mississippi, but in South Mississippi we don't have a lot of catfish farms here. Yeah, our onions, we tried to be progressionary on that because they're biannual. In our area, we can typically grow onions like we can grow lettuce. Pretty much, 6 to 8 months out of the year we can grow onions. The only time we can't grow that stuff is just dead summer.
All right, and let me ask y'all this, because this is something that I have not done a whole
Henry's
lot of research on. But when your onions and your chives go to seed, do you let them completely die before you take that seed? I know, like on my common chives, I have purple flower heads that come up.
Being a
and they're going to seed, right? They're going to seed, but do I take those seeds or do I let them die? I've been curious about how I need to handle that, but I haven't been able to do a lot of research on it because of everything going on the farm. We're trying to tie up our loose ends of school, but that's one thing I wanted to look into. Y'all, do y'all know how to do that? If I want to get those seeds,
and on annuals we do, so we understand annuals. You pull
let
when
the
they
plant
die,
completely die.
but on a perennial, because perennial will come back anyway. Do we harvest those before or after, or do we let them die?
Plant completely die in the fall?
Yeah, we might have to ask Danny at Deep South. He would probably know.
And I'm sure I could research it or type it in on YouTube and somebody would teach me about it. But that's one thing I want to know is your plant is going to thrive, and it's just like our asparagus. It's going to go to seed and it's going to give me seeds. I just don't know when to get them. And I know if you get them too early, they're not going to be mature enough, which means they're not going to be ready and they're not going to germinate.
Serenity Hill says they always let them die. And see, on our annuals, we do.
And so I'm assuming that would be fall because ours will literally start growing in March, but they will not die literally until December.
Yeah. We just don't know the perennials. We understand annuals completely, but the perennials are kind of throwing us for a loop. Or biannuals.
I just want to make sure I do my research. Mr. Google Pants, as Justin Rhodes calls it, and my gardener. Yes, he is very wise, and I know he's grown up doing. And my gardener is a gardener from Michigan, and he grew up with his family, and they've always been very
Hey, Darlene Thompson.
detailed garden, and he is very, very wise in that area for his age.
It was pretty rainy here. I don't know if I'd call it a pretty day here at Arlene, but it was. We had some pretty days before today. We had a pretty rainy day.
Planted flowers at her church today.
Yeah.
She's doing
a
church garden.
We do have a pretty long growing season. I guess I never
We
realized how important that was until we started doing gardening all year round. When we grew up, like we were not big homesteading families growing up, but I guess we always grew summer gardens, and that's kind of it. But now that we grow fall gardens and winter gardens and spring gardens, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all year.
We have 12-month growing period for sure.
I would say November kind of wraps up everything in the summer, and we can kind of kick off in September fall stuff. We can kind of kick it off then. September, October, somewhere up in there.
Serenity Hill, where are y'all from again? Because that's a very short growth season. You must be up north. I couldn't imagine growing just a short season like that. We had lettuce.
It's what we've always known.
Yeah, we've had lettuce. I mean, we've had lettuce since October, and it's still growing, and we're still eating it.
Gardner Scott.
Yeah, I've heard of Gardner Scott. Actually, I got on his live the other day for a little bit.
That's something that I just wanted to collecting seeds are very important to us. And they're like tomato seeds are totally different than basil seeds. And it has taken us, we have to do our homework. So I know some people, they're just like, oh, that's just what you do. Well, we had to learn those things.
Saving seeds.
Saving seeds, yeah, because tomatoes are very different from basil. So we had to learn those things, like even down to the marigolds. I didn't know where the seeds were in a marigold. So it took homework to learn those type things. And
we save just about every seed we have now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Trying to anyway.
Mimsy said 285-day growing season. You're probably right, more than me saying 12 months, but we do grow 12 months. It's just depending on what we're trying to grow. So
how are the pigs doing after their ordeal? They are great.
They're great. Act like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Especially the one that didn't get cut. He's good to go.
He got out just in the nick of time.
That's right. Northwest Illinois. Oh my goodness.
But they are fat. They are growing so fast. And our other two sets of feeder pigs should be bred. So we'll be having babies coming out of by the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, we will have more babies than we know what to do with.
Craig, to me, by far the butter crunch lettuce and the heirloom butter.
The best, and it is the best.
Hoss Tools butter crunch lettuce.
Hey, Rehab Life.
I think they probably their butter crunch lettuce probably better than any butter crunch. Hoss Tools.
Hoss Tools, yeah.
I would say Hoss Tools butter crunch lettuce and we got some heirloom seeds. I don't even know. We've had it for so long. I don't even know what that actually was originating. It's our personal lettuce. Anything
I have designated certain plants to go to seed, and last year and the year before that,
we tend to do better with leaf lettuce than head lettuce here. And plus, we eat a lot of it, so we do better with leaf lettuce because we can pull off as we want it. So anything like arugula did well here 2 years ago. We didn't grow it this last year. It is a perennial. We shouldn't have cut it back. We cut it back though. But the butter crunch, the purple butter crunch. Goodness, what other? And then they make a straight butter lettuce.
We grew
all those
several
did
different
great.
types of spinaches, which were really good. I have really enjoyed eating it in my
Rehab Life.
In my omelets recently. I've been making omelets and
he is king of the hill.
With spinach, and it's really good.
Yeah, we chased chickens. That was kind of fun. Actually, we probably could have made that easier, but I was like, hey, we have the drone up. Let the kids go wild. And then we went wild. The funniest thing was when Harley tripped over she was getting in the net and she tripped over and did this somersault circle thing.
I don't think that was on there though, was it?
I think it was. So that was probably the funniest part.
And then I just stand there laughing. I don't know. Look, there's a spider.
Kill it. Yeah, we like the butter crunch lettuce, and so far we still have butter crunch growing. And we actually, we ate some yesterday. We didn't eat some tonight, but I pretty much eat a salad or eat some kind of lettuce every day.
We ate tacos, so I stuffed mine full of lettuce, and it's so good.
Yeah, so our lettuce has done really good. That's probably my favorite thing to grow. Something about it's pretty, it's easy. It's just I love it. So.
Hey, y'all are laughing with the music, but I wish y'all could have heard the sound. Heard it with the sound.
What are you talking
They're
about?
talking about laughing at the chicken video.
Right, the one where you're chasing chickens?
Yeah. But you put music on there. It would have been funnier with the real sound.
All the kids.
Get it. Put it in that corner.
The kids then started laughing. So then at that point, they were worthless on actually chasing the chicken. They just laughed because they love to watch us chase chickens.
And our little blonde girl, Ellie Bell, she loves to chase. Like, that is her favorite thing. She don't want to work on the farm. She don't want to plant nothing. She don't want to go get you nothing. She don't want to water nothing. But she'll chase a chicken.
She is a chicken. What's so funny? She loves chasing chickens, and she's actually a good chicken catcher. She's
really
the blonde-headed
is.
one. We call her a gold digger because she don't do nothing. She very Mary rich and serious. She's gonna live with mom and dad all her life. But she actually, what's so funny is she's the one child who, like, after she saw us butcher chickens, it was just like, I'm not eating that. So like every time we eat chicken, she just has to pick through it, and it's so funny because she happens to be the gold digger. And she's it's so funny. She actually loves peas, loves our garden stuff, and never had a problem with catching chickens and still don't. But it's funny how she actually does not like eating chicken after she saw that chicken come from that chicken.
Was she the one, or did Sayla say when the very first meal we sat down, the chickens that we killed off, one of them said, I think it was Ellie, she said, "Are you sure the heart is out of there?"
Okay. Black seeded Simpson, Heather said for lettuce. I've never tried to grow that. I've never heard of that one. So we'll have to try that one.
Your lettuce looks amazing too, by the way, Heather. So she's got, Heather's one of our friends from the great state of Tennessee. And her husband just built her greenhouse, and she is growing so much in there, and it all looks so good.
I don't care what anybody says. Winter gardens, fall gardens and winter gardens are our favorite. They're just easy and I love them.
They are easy. Well, I think with the thing here is the summer is we plant so much because we can grow so much, but then it gets so hot and we have so much to water, and that's like that's like a bigger ordeal than feeding all the animals, which takes time because between the
break a leg and let's dig it. What's up? How are you? Between
the sheep, the pigs, the cows, all of the chickens, we've got the meat birds, now we have the turkeys, the ducks, the different
4 sets of chickens.
Right. We've got the pullet stage and then the 2 that we move. I mean, it's like a job to go feed everybody, get everybody's water. If anybody has to be moved to a new section, that's like a big ordeal.
Kevin, we'll see you, man. Thank you for coming.
But watering in the summer is just as a big ordeal because you have to move the water literally over the entire property. So it's a big deal. I think that's it can burn you out kind of easy.
I do think that the more we do no-till and the more that we add to it. I watched a thing on Paul Gauch the other day, Back to Eating Garden, and we're not really back to eating garden as much as just no-till and just lasagna method. But the more I watched him and how it made sense, the more we add every year. You're adding better organic mass and biomass to your garden. The less you have to water. So I'm hoping this is our second season of not tilling. So I'm hoping the more we add, the less we water. I've noticed that with with some of our vegetation in some of our areas. It's done really well, and then some we're still having to water a lot. So, it's try to learn. That's all you can do. So.
Yep. And one of the things that I think is pretty cool, I saw Steph T5 say, I can't imagine trying to water a garden as big as y'all do in the summer. Y'all hang tight because this weekend we're going to be recording from the sky. So y'all stay tuned for some footage. It's going to give you an overlook. We found a still of a deal for a little happy that's going to give y'all some different views from around the homestead. So y'all are going to have basically some views from overhead. It's going to give you an awesome view of the layout and kind of where our greenhouse is and where we manage that, where our big garden is, where a lot of our raised beds are, and how we kind of access those. So y'all stay tuned for that. I think you will enjoy that. And also, what else was pretty cool is we had a couple from Hammond that is looking to relocate to Kentwood to begin their own homestead. And we met them through Abundant Permaculture. I cannot say that word, y'all.
Justin Rose membership.
Anyway, so they reached out to us and they want to come up and do a farm tour and help us for the day. And of course, we always have a million things to do, so we thought that would be awesome. But they wanted to come up and learn and kind of see our layout and how we do things and what they like the most, because they were not raised homesteading and they don't homestead, but they really want to. So I think that's going to be really cool that we'll have. Well, we've done a tour before, but this is actually a husband and wife, and they really want to start their own homestead, and they are moving to do this. So that'll be super cool to be able to be mentors to somebody. So we're excited about that.
It's kind of funny too. You know, we've always been looked at as like, you know, y'all are so strange, but it is kind of funny how now you're starting to see people in our area. We're incubating a lot more eggs for a lot more people to have this little, you know, this little chicken garden that they have. Or they'll ask me. I had someone who always jokes at me about having a big garden and why I do what I do. Started asking me questions about the garden. So it's good to see people trying to learn a little bit more. I had a guy the other day tell me he thought we were crazy for growing our steers up to you know, the process. He was like, "We just buy at the store." Well, now he's actually growing one. So I thought that was kind of funny how it's amazing how people are coming around and saying, even though it may have taken the situation that we're going through in our world, it's cool to see people starting to come around to, hey, I might need to grow my own food in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool.
We're excited about that.
What's up, Little Mountain Life?
We were supposed to do.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on.
A master gardener's seminar about an hour, a little over an hour away from us. But because of all the viral stuff going on, of course, you know, everything gets canceled. So we were really bummed that we're not going to be able to do that speaking engagement. And then we also have a local nursery here that we were going to do a seminar on no-till and how to naturally use nature to till for you, weed suppression, and fertilize for you. So, you know, that's kind of bummed for us because we want to teach what we know. And we were really looking forward to that. But now that we're not going to be able to do that, I'm excited that this couple has contacted us and say, you know, hey, we want to do what you're doing, and we want to come up and do hands-on. We want to see your layout and learn as much as we can. So I think that's super cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
I got a coffee.
We're only on 37 minutes, so we still have a little while.
I have to have coffee.
Serenity Hills that had someone come up the road that always thought we were crazy, but Neil has a lot of respect for them and says we're the smartest people around. And, you know, I don't know if many of y'all saw Amy's post on her Homesteaders of America that it basically, in a nutshell, said that people used to say, "Oh, you have chickens, you're crazy," or, you know, you butcher your own chickens, you're crazy. And then it said, "Who's the crazy one now?" After all this viral stuff. So
thanks, Wes, for coming on.
You know, cute little sayings, but you know, in all actuality, for us, the health part of it, knowing what's been done to our food is so important.
Larry, we have some videos on some nukes and also catching a few swarms.
That would be a good one to do, though. The equipment you would need, and maybe some people that you could contact.
Beekeeping can be kind of expensive getting into
initially,
because you have to buy all your equipment. But once you're in, man, I mean, it's not like anything animal. You don't feed them. I mean, they feed themselves. I mean, you may have. I don't feed ours, but you may have to feed them here and there. But it's not like an animal where you're buying feed cost.
Right. It's very low maintenance, and then in the long run, you will
keep making
see return and profit when you start selling your honey.
Yeah, we actually. Good night, Grandpa's farm. Feed time comes early in the AM. Trust me, I know. But yeah, bees are a pretty good turnaround for us. Between honey that we sell and also elderberry syrup that we sell, both of those things are dealing with honey, so it works out really good. There's one more question.
Honey is huge for us too.
Little Feet Farm Homestead. How long do you leave your salad starts on? I can only do a month because I'm planting next week. There's not a wrong answer to that. The longer you leave them, the better it is. So we left ours for a season where we're planting now. We still have great suppression. We still have to weed a little bit. Like all Friday, I'll probably take the garden hoe or the stirrup hoe and go through there and just kind of clean it up a little bit. But it's more I have to look for grass versus this grass is taking over.
Right.
So a lot better situation there. And also, which I think Misty was just say, like I took the silage tarp off where we're going to plant the sweet potatoes and put topsoil down and then put it back. The quality of that soil underneath, it's so moist. It's got such good quality. The only negative to that, I have an ant bed or two that's in there, but as in just the quality of the soil.
Well, and what I was going to say is even after this growing season, plan to put that silage tar back on for the whole next season, because if there's no sun for a really extended period of time, things can't grow.
That's right. So
and
chop
that's
and drop.
where you're going to see. Yes, we do chop and drop
anything
too.
that you have left, just chop and drop it. Just simply
because it's going to break down and refeed the soil, just like a compost
perfect
would.
Compost, absolutely. So definitely, we left a salad strop on one place where our strawberries are for like 2 or 3 weeks. However, we did do deep bed and we did do weed barrier on where the strawberries are.
So in other words, what we did is so we weren't able to leave it on for as long as we had hoped. So when we pulled the silage tar back, we took cardboard and rode a walking path and did deep bed with bark. Then we did our planting row and we did topsoil and some compost, and then we covered it up with weed barrier and cut our holes in, and then we made another walking row, and then we just alternated that. So we would have basically a layer of cardboard, a layer of weed suppression, a layer of cardboard, a layer of weed suppression. So even though we didn't get to cover it for as long as we would have hoped, those weeds and grasses are going to have such a harder time coming up through that because of the way we've layered it with weed suppression things.
McLeod, let's see. Yeah, we definitely, for us, we probably have $300 to $400 invested into bee supplies at first, and then if you're not catching your first swarm, you have to buy your packaged bees. We actually originally bought 2 sets of bees because you don't ever want to start with one; you want to start with 2. In our area, Hive Homestead, you can chime in, but in our area, bees are usually 125 to 150 per nuke or per starter hive.
And it's best if you can find them local.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that local person will also be able to help mentor you through the process.
Don't be scared to getting bees. As long as you have a friendly respect of them and you respect them and that's their hive, that's their home. Smoke them, let them know you're coming, wear proper clothing, and the more you get comfortable, the less you may have to wear. But I love bees. I'm actually probably a little bit more systemic. What would you call it? Probably a little bit more allergic to it. I have systemic issues.
You don't know. You have local.
Local.
Learn your medical terms.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was reading this message. Speaking of bee mentors, Miss Pam messaged me earlier, and I sent her a message back, but she didn't respond. She wanted me to call her, so I was just like, oh, I forgot.
Copper Kettle Farms, we've done, Henry Honey. We have 2 hugelkultur deep beds that we have done. They work good in our area. We don't grow root vegetables in those. We grow more of our lettuces in those and tomatoes last year.
Beds, I saw that.
They've done great for us. We don't grow root vegetables in hugelkultur just because we stay very moist and very. I believe it causes fungus issues. So we do not grow root vegetables in our hugelkultur, but we do have hugelkultur beds. We pretty much have just any and every kind.
And I really like the idea of those beds because everything about them to me just makes sense. So I'm trying to read where y'all were. Okay, yeah, raised beds because of back issues. That's a great idea. I like the idea of the being able to breathe. It breaks down in there over time. I think the whole process just makes sense. And there are tons of different ways that you can build those beds. It doesn't have to just be a traditional box with layered with wood and different type things in there. I have seen people build mounds and grow mounds, just all kinds of things. Just really, really cool to do. Doing tomatoes, squash, beans, and ground cherries in them. Yeah, I really like the idea of the hugelkultur beds. Food and meat prices are fixing to skyrocket. Yes, I did see that, and unfortunately, if a lot of y'all, I'm sure that y'all have heard that the way they're slaughtering the animals just for the heck of it, which is totally blows my mind. But Colby and I were able to order our meat birds right before everybody decided to buy meat birds. And I've heard a lot of people say that they were sold out or they weren't not going to be able to get them to a certain time. We ordered ours and was able to get them within a reasonable time. And I cannot remember the date that they will go to freezer count, but it will be within the next several weeks. So pork and chicken are going to be very high. Thankfully, our pork will not be too far behind that because we have a few, which the girls we decided not to sell, but they were the biggest ones. As crazy as that sounds, our boys were a tidbit smaller than our girls. Our girls are huge, but now they're pregnant, so we're not going to do anything with them. But our boys, we've separated them from the girls, and they have really started packing on the weight. I know that sounds crazy, but that's kind of the way it's rolled out. But one of the boys he could go to market like right now, but we will, and we may have to do that if the pork does skyrocket like that, then we may just have to go ahead and load him up and take him and get as much meat off him as we can. You were talking about the killing of the chicken and all of the pork and how the prices are supposed to go through the roof. And thankfully, our meat birds will be ready to. When are we due to?
Probably about 4 weeks.
So we're not too far away from that. And then I was telling them about how the girls were so much bigger than the boy pigs.
We have one boy pig though that's
what I just told them. There's one he could go, like if we decided to take him to market,
right?
But we were hoping to kind of take them all together, or at least more towards the end of the summer. But
I think he'll be first, and then we'll probably take the other two together.
But but when we separated them, he's really put on weight.
Yeah, definitely.
He is really put on weight. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but
hey, two family. Did you say hey to two family? How are y'all?
I can't remember. But anyway, so if things do get crazy, we would have what we needed. And that's been our goal for a long time. For years, we've grown all of our herbs and vegetables, but this year last year we really focused on providing meat for this year and raising it all ourselves.
We're there this year. Especially.
We are. The sheep will be the only thing. One of the sheep will not go until next year. So
the wither could go this year, but we're probably going to let him hang on for a little bit longer just because we really need him to be a kind of a mate to our ram when we take him out after they're bred. I mean, after they
deliver,
have their
and
babies.
They should deliver this winter.
So I think we'll hold on to our wither just for a little bit longer than probably normal.
Yeah, until at least they probably have their babies.
Pigs are pretty easy to pick up around here. Actually, I found two coot coons. I forgot to tell you that. We're debating on. We talked last week. We have our American Guinea Hog, we have our Blue Butt Yorkshires, and then we're going to have a cross of those. We did find some other ones that we may want to look into investing in, so we'll see. We have the area definitely for pigs, especially in our forest. They do well there. They till the ground up under it, so it works out really nice for us there. Our lambs, same way. Missy was talking about the sheep. Our sheep have a great space as well. So as those two animals expand, I think we've got to figure out what we're going to do more of. That's meat marketing and processing those strictly for us, or selling more of those, and figure that out. Because we will, and of course, they produce a lot more than what cows do. So,
hey, Prep Steady and Nana Binda.
Hey, how are you? Sean, Alaska, I would imagine bees are hard up there. I saw that comment earlier.
Oh yeah,
That would be kind of hard. What we have, Mike Pratt, who's Pratt and Homestead
he's
in Michigan.
Michigan.
Just see kind of how he has to winterize his was a little bit unique compared to what we do. We don't even winterize ours. Ours basically, and I'm Homestead again, chime in, but we don't do anything for winter because we don't have to sell. I mean, we put a spacer in the front entrance to help it where it's not as much activity with winter flow. How about you, Hank? But we don't really have to winterize ours. Larry Reeves, you can start bees anytime, but this is the best time to start them because this is when people tend to sell bees because you either have them split right now or they're swarming. This is the best time to get into bees. I'm not saying you can get into bees anytime,
Nolly.
but you definitely need to try to get into bees now. It's the perfect time. And that helps them prepare for fall and winter.
We miss seeing you at piano.
Yeah, the reducer is what we do as well, having a homestead.
Yeah. So, and that's because we're so far south. We just don't have the brutal cold wind that blows and just the bone chilling cold temperatures, what I would call it. Like, I mean, Michigan was still having snow just 2 weeks ago.
Man.
I mean, we had not a snowflake.
Hey, Lanny's World, how are you?
This whole year, or last year.
See, Russian bees for us, you can get Russians here, and a lot of people have. Well, excuse me, not a lot of people. Some people have Russians here.
They tend to
be a little bit more aggressive,
right.
And they can tend to rob from other hives. Somebody could take that comment off, by the way. Let's see.
Anna, can you?
Let's pull this one off there.
You don't have to just remove the whole person. Hey, we're getting cool. We have a troll.
We've had a few on here, haven't we? I don't know what I'm doing on that, so.
He does not know what he's doing.
I'm a terrible moderator.
Thank you.
I think that worked. Thank you. Anyways, back to the story we were talking about. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
So anyways, bees. Yeah, so bees for us.
I was saying we were not cool enough to have trolls.
Yeah, no, really. Russians don't do good here, or they do good here. They just tend to be a little aggressive, and they pull.
Right.
We usually use Italians or just random, what we call mutt bees, which are just feral bees.
You are too sweet to have a troll. That's very nice.
We would never know. What's so funny is we're actually moderators on some bigger channels, and I don't even know why, because we're no good at it. Like Mimsy and all them.
We're just
so
not
awesome.
as fast. Even though I would say we're in our 30s, we're pretty young. We're supposed to be all tech savvy and stuff, but we're not as experienced in YouTube, so we can't move as fast.
And we don't use a real computer, so we're using a computer to film them. But like other than that, we use our phones. But crazy. Hey, don't worry about it, Mimsy. You still rock it because we stink at it. So.
I'm sure everybody on here has seen that before. So
yeah, I'd say Mimsy's Garden and North Star Prep Stead are definitely the best mods that everybody needs. Those two moderators on your store. So
yes, and if y'all are not familiar with their channels, y'all be sure. I don't like the fact I was on a live earlier and I tried to click on the channel and I forgot that you can't click on them anymore. I really don't like that because I like to go while I'm listening and read about their channel, see what's on their channel, kind of see what it's about, because it's very easy to forget about it once you're off. But y'all be sure to check out, we've talked about this a little bit last week. Check out each other's channels. I mean, we have people from Alaska, New York on here, all the way down to Florida. So I think it's really cool. People can learn from each other. It's a good way to build community. So y'all be sure to check out these channels on here. If you were able to talk with someone, y'all be sure to check them out and give them a thumbs up. Yep, Pennsylvania.
I know it's funny because you see Sean in Alaska, and then Pennsylvania, and of course you have Hamptonville down in Florida.
Having the homesteads, crazy. Yeah, they're right under us. Green Dream was on here earlier, and they're all the way from Arizona. So Little Mountain Life was on here, and he's Virginia. So people from all over.
I think the best view so far is Little Mountain Life. He has the absolute best view of his homestead.
Oh, there he is. He's still on here.
Minnesota,
yep.
Yeah, so for instance, I think everybody should get in bees. I really do. I think everybody should get bees. Everybody should have bees. I think they're very good for the homestead. We actually,
There's so many benefits to
yeah.
just eat, just the honey.
You know what's so funny
besides
though?
just the
Our
honey.
bee videos do terrible. I mean, we're not really a big show anyway, but every video does do really well for us. But the bees tend to always do not the best. So I love bees. I could really film bees every day. So I always tell Misty we have a video tomorrow that has a little bee coverage in it, but not a lot. But I could do bees all day, every day.
Well, and they're such good pollinators. I think they just do a fantastic job with pollinating, and of course, they're 1 out of 3 foods that we eat require pollination, and that is a big deal, y'all. That's a really big deal, and I don't think that a lot of people realize the need for bees. And our bee signs, I don't think they're here. We had some bee signs made that talked about not spraying. Please call us. We have bees on the property. So that was a huge thing for us, because we had in the past had to like track people down and say, thank you, Little Feet Farm. Had to say, don't spray our property. We are trying to take care of our bees. So many benefits besides just the honey. They pollinate your food and make it grow well.
Our blueberries have been slamming since then.
But then you can't eat without pollinators, and honeybees just do such a great job of doing that. So.
Make a lady and let's dig it. I would love to get to the point where I don't have to have a lot of working gear on for bees. However, that's not my ultimate goal. I laugh because Alderman Farms, which is a local homestead close to us, his goal is to always try to be like 628 Dirt Rooster, where you can just go up to the bees and just touch all over them. Barnyard bees, if you ever seen those guys are awesome. I love being able. That would be so cool to just touch your bees without having to have your gear on. I'm not there yet, and that's not one of my main goals. I mean, that would be cool one day, but I work them in a suit, and I feel like they're more comfortable with me in a suit, and I'm more comfortable in the suit than if I was nervous trying to do it without a suit. So I think everybody would be a little bit more on edge. So,
I saw a comment that I wanted to.
Kid Notes, they're awesome. You need them.
I won't be so bad, but my mom is definitely allergic. That's not good.
Rehab Life, we have wasp and fire ants. That's just 2 things that just are crazy around here compared to
have killed at least 3 or 4 wasp nests in my greenhouse.
They're crazy.
And after I got done taking one down from in the greenhouse, just because me and the kids are in and out of there so much, and there's only one way in and one way out. And I don't mind them as long as they keep their distance. But when they start getting up in my personal space, they got to go. So after I got through taking their house out of my greenhouse, I walked up on the porch and I have them in the corners of my porch. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing any more today. They're just going to have to hang out there until I'm ready to fight that battle. So, yeah, when they start getting up in your personal space, that's a negative.
Henry's Honeys, Itchinea root, which of course like a coneflower. They love dandelions. That's kind of the first spring flower that they go to. Goldenrod is a fall flower, even though goldenrod is not really. It's more of a wild thing that grows in a lot of cutovers and fields. A lot of people don't like goldenrod, but they're a good attractant for bees. Let's see. Zinnias, blueberries, sunflowers, all those. Anything that's a typical pollination. If you're having, dragonflies, carpet bees, mason bees, then bee butterflies, you're gonna have honey bees too. Yeah, oregano's a good one. That's another good one.
My husband keeps reminding me that we can't spray the walls. Well, I got mine with a water hose, and on the settings on the little heads on the front, there's different settings, and you've got the shower, and you've got the mist, and then you've got the jet. Well, I wiped mine out with the jet. So, but they just can't get up in the personal space. And the kids is mainly the most important thing, because I know my kids, if they see one, the first thing they're going to do is swat at it, and then it's going to be on like Donkey Kong.
We grow marigolds. Do you guys paint marigold flowers? Not sure if I understand that one.
Mm-mm.
We do grow tons of marigold, by the way.
Yes, back in several videos ago, it was like a video from the fall, talked about I had a marigold in there just for seeds. So I let it grow all fall. I harvested all the seeds this spring, replanted them all. All those have grown up and they're all out in the tomatoes.
I don't know if we have mud wasp. We have red wasp. Our
Mud
wasp.
walls, would that be like what we call dirt daubers?
I don't know. We have dirt daubers, which they don't sting you though.
We call them dirt daubers.
Yeah, I don't know what they're actually
what the
named.
name actually.
They look like a wasp,
but they
that doesn't
build
hurt.
right, and then they build the little tunnels out of dirt and mud.
Yes, homesteading grading business, like we do
the
grow
jet
tons.
setting. That's what I did. I just used the jet setting and sprayed their house down, and they went zooming out, and I was like, okay, now we're good.
See,
So
I'm not big on. I've heard of fireweed, but of course we don't grow any here. Clover honey, we have red and white clover that they'll feed off of. However, I'm not how some people grow a pure clover honey. I'm not crazy about it. It's kind of like goldenrod. I can eat goldenrod honey, but I'm not crazy. But Misty won't.
blood wasps are dirt daubers, which is what I figured. We do have them here, but they don't really bother us.
Yeah, they just make a mess.
We call them dirt daubers.
So Misty doesn't like goldenrod honey. Actually, we had a friend that dropped off some wax, and she was like, "What is this honey? This honey is not as good as our honey." So I can eat it. I can tolerate it.
Well,
it's
it was
like
the wax, but it was full
too.
of honey. So what I do is I like to put it in a strainer and strain as much. I mean, I'll press on it and leave it for days.
Good night, Mimsy.
Get as much of the honey off of it as we can before I purify it to make it pure wax. And
firewalls would be like our red walls.
It was I tasted it and I was not ready for that. Ugh.
Mud wasp. I never heard of that. I've always called them dirt daubers.
We've always called them dirt daubers, but that makes sense because they look like a wasp.
I wouldn't even thought about that until you said that. So, all right, we are ending this live because we are at an hour. So we enjoy the talk. It's more on garden this time. I think we're gonna hit on more animals next time. We're gonna try to theme it and try to actually stay on topic. So I'm glad I learned what a mud wasp was. That was good knowledge.
Carly said, "Well, I'm 40 now." And I don't know what a troll is. A troll is somebody who gets on your chat and is very disruptive and ugly and uses foul language, which we don't do. And I know most of you guys probably don't. We like to stay clean and family friendly. So a troll is an ugly person. Maybe not here, but ugly here.
Good night, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Again, check out everybody's channel on here. I see Hamptonville Farm. He always has Will It Start videos. I think they're awesome. Some of you other guys we have watched. We love keeping up with y'all as y'all keep up with us. But thank y'all so much for coming on. Before we end it. We never can end on time. I have to tell them this. So if y'all don't follow us on Facebook, y'all please find us on Facebook. We're the Max Happy Homestead on Facebook. And I am going to post it. I'm hoping by next week I'm going to be posting a link for a group that will be for anybody who wants to post anything that's going on your homestead, whether it's new babies, what you planted, what you bought, what you did. We don't care as long as it's clean because we want to be able to keep up with you guys. And some of you guys have your own pages that we follow, so we're able to keep up with y'all, but some of you guys don't. You're not YouTubers. But we still want to be able to keep up with y'all. So it will be for anybody who wants to post any kind of link, any kind of social media link. At the Max Happy Homestead, Big Legs. Right. Any type of link that you want to post, any type of picture that you want to post, anything that you did, you can tell us all about it. We want to keep up with y'all, and we want other people to see what you've been able to do too. So y'all be on the lookout for that. That will be, I'm hoping to get that page set up by the end of next week. Yeah, so we love, like for instance, Lacey Edgeworth. Y'all's posts are so awesome. We love look at your posts of your farm and what you're selling. And she made my soap. Yeah. So you can put my soap on there. So all of those things are cool. And I think what Misty was talking about with Instagram and Facebook, sometimes it's so easier to just snap a picture or to do a little video and not have to edit it down for YouTube, even though we love YouTube. So it allows us to have a little bit more interaction all throughout the days and have fun. And it's easier for me to go to that page and see what's going on with you guys. Because if you go on your regular
your regular Facebook, and you have to almost scroll for an hour to see what's going on with everybody. And y'all know we have 5 kids and a huge farm, and we stay busy, and it's hard to do that. So we would just love to have an opportunity for a lot of people to just go on and drop a picture, drop a note, whatever you're going on, social media link, whatever. That will be up to you guys, whatever you want to do, as long as it stays clean.
We're going to leave this time.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.